Well, hey friends, how about a new moon in Aries? Reading from your Metal Dog Tarot. This is the first of two new moons in Aries. This is the beginning of a new cycle through the zodiac. So we're going to talk about this new journey. I listened to Molly McCord and Heather Ensworth, two amazing astrologers, and then we'll see what the cards say. I'm going to ask a question that goes with different placements of what's happening out there. And the theme of this reading is a new story. And I get that from Heather Ensworth, who talked about our story, that it is human to be violent, and that when you look at the archaeology from 4000 BC to 2000 BC, you find communities with no walls, no weapons in burial sites, and so that there has been in ancient history a time before violence, before war at least, theoretically. So I found that very interesting, and she's suggesting that when we see Pluto moving into Aquarius, the age of Aquarius, it's a new era, and we are looking at the possibility of what stories could we tell. We can go low vibe or high vibe here. So we're going to begin with a card from this beautiful Moon Witch Tarot, and we're going to ask, what is this new story going to be about, at least for this new moon? Because a new moon, the moon's hanging with the sun, the sky is dark, and in that void, in that dark night, what will we fill in? What will we envision? So let's see, what is this new story? It is an Ace of Pentacles. If aces are the beginnings, and this is an earthy 3D beginning. I think this is what people are seeing, that this is about a new relationship with our planet, with what is growing here, and it is about what we mean by abundance and how we understand our divine connections. Let's see. Underlying that, the old story very much. Two cards. So we have Mr. Security King himself, the King of Pentacles, holding that new beginning, holding the earth beautifully, gracefully, I think. This deck has all bodies with curves, female forms. I don't mind it. Very non-binary in presentation there. And then we also get the beautiful Knight of Cups. And this very much reminds me of something that Heather Ensworth said, that this first day, the day of this new moon, 0 degrees Aries, that there's this Sabian interpretation. I'm looking at it right now. I don't love it, but I loved the poetic line for the day of this new moon. And the line is, a woman rises out of the water, so that we can see, leaving Pisces and heading into Aries, a seal rises and embraces her. So what Heather Ensworth talked about is a new relationship with Earth, one more of kinship, and this is something that we need to remember, that many traditions do remember kinship with Earth, and that we're more and more remembering this every day, and so that we have this embrace of the seal as about relations with the natural world. So that's what I feel like this story echoes what I heard in Heather Ensworth's podcast. I encourage you to look at it on YouTube. But let's see what happens when we read the tarot. Certainly going to be more here. Okay, so based on different placements out there, I'm going to ask some of the pieces of this story. And I'm reading a really great queer interpretation of the tarot called Embracing the Fool. And I read about the beginning of the major arcana and the story that those tell. And it is indeed a story of starting a new journey, and that what begins this journey is a feeling, a desire. And so that's what the first card we're going to look at is going to ask. What is it that we feel in our gut? And that is an Aries thing. You go by your gut in Aries. So trust your gut. What did somebody say? They said Aries is all about, it has your name on it, whatever it is. My girlfriend is Aries. It's very her. She says things wink at her. It's this very gut-driven way of being. And so that's what we're going to ask as we begin this story. What is the gut telling us? The gut says, look inside. That's hilarious. The Hermit. The Hermit is very much about looking inside to your inner light. There is truth there. There is wisdom there. It says, listen to your gut. The gut has something very smart to say. So we have the little spider doing her private solitary work, spinning her web. She's going to fill her gut with something she catches in her web under this beautiful moon. Okay. Next, we're going to ask, so get this gut feeling, this instinct, and a journey begins. What is this journey? Ooh, it begins with a tower. Very exciting. Everything comes down, and then you go. That's exciting. So you know something in your gut. You can choose to make the change that the tower requires, but a tower happens because there's a shaky foundation. It's going to come down inevitably. If you don't do it, the universe will. So that is how the new journey begins. It begins with a shock. Okay, well, let's see what happens here. What is the shock? Next, we're going to ask about the power of stories, the way that they are shaping us. And the story is one that we've been seeing in these collective readings, the idea of the sun, the idea of who we are, the idea of what makes us happy. This is very much at the core of your authenticity as an individual, but us as a collective. What does it mean to be human? And to me, this says very much what Heather Ensworth said, that there's this violence, like we're predators, right? And that this is us alone and our lofty vantage point. So this concept of what makes us happy, that is the story that is so powerful. And it is also the barrier that we face in this reading. Fourth, we're going to ask, what does it take to make this dream real? There are some new truths. There is a secret truth. We need to remember this truth. This one has it. There are some who have these truths. There are some that hoard these truths, and the rest of us are wandering around out here. So it's going to take getting a hold of the truth, or facing that truth, or being willing to live by it. And you might have to do that all by yourself here for a minute. Interesting. I feel like I want to ask one more question. It's not on my my reading, but so I'm not going to do it. I designed a spread. What is the underlying energy? Simply a Two of Pentacles. Balance, groundedness, and earth. And this is such a beautiful one with these two dolphins playing with one another around this full moon. So this is a earthy reading about finding balance. Well, let's see. We need to clarify this. It's a very vague storyline. We need to know what this tower is. We need to know about the story of what makes us happy. And I definitely need to know about what it takes to make this dream real. Is there something secret, a truth that is being kept, or that we're keeping alone? I see these big cats here too. All right. I see these two big cats. They're making me think of this King of Pentacles, this old hierarchy. And this is making me think of the sun that this panther, this wildcat has in this tree. And then this woman, this Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups is a person that lives with their heart forth. Yeah. So it's very earthy. Let's see what else. What else is going on here? We will use the Wild Unknown to clarify. This is my first deck. It's still my favorite set of images. I see these cards in the woods when I'm walking around sometimes. Let's see. So we're going to clarify what we know in our gut. We ask this because Mercury, that intelligent, transformative energy, Mercury, has been in Aries too. And so we see here the Hermit. The gut is full of wisdom. What else? The world is ending. And it is beginning. And we have everything that we need. We are complete. We are whole. And as long as we know this is the gut. You can notice that we have this rainbow. We have flowers. We have an eye. And then there's this snaky body here in the midst of the stars. So we've completed a major cycle. We know this in our gut. We also know that we're whole and we have everything that we need. We're complete we've completed this journey, and we are complete as a result of what we learned on this. And that's why our gut is so wise, and it's why we can look inward like the Hermit to find the truth within. What else? There's justice. This is the opposition, the black and white conspiring together. They have the earth. They have the sword of truth. Remember that this is very much what we need to complete this journey, to make our dream real. So this is social justice. It could be legal justice. It's very rainbow. It's got the trans flag on there too. And the Mother of Cups, the emotional intelligence and open-heartedness of the Mother of Cups. Makes me think very much of this Knight of Cups here that we have. I like how she's sitting on the ground. The horse is in the water. She's not riding the horse. This is looking eye to eye with a being. It's a heart relationship with an animal. A horse in particular. So then I think of that we have the wounded healer, Chiron, who's a centaur in Aries. And Jupiter has been hanging out there, and I've been doing readings on what we are healing. I don't have a card in here for that. But you can look for your reading. I'll be doing the mutable signs. Sag, Virgo, Libra, no, not Libra, Gemini, and Pisces here coming up. So I've done all the other signs. Okay, well, we got this beginning of our journey. What causes us to leap out like the fool, to be brave enough to go on this, to make this new story, to begin the journey, is a tower. It's a surprise. It shocks us, and it sends us on our way. What is this tower? Can we find out more about it? At the beginning of this journey. Okay, so it looks like we're just stuck. We're torn between two truths here. So that's why we're stuck. Then what? Then strength, love prevails over violence. And what else? Undefended love, Six of Cups, nostalgia, inner child work. So what is the shock here? There's some kind of shock. that where we're at odds. Like, I think, and if we look at the way that our society is polarized right now, it's very two of swords, right? And there's an eclipse in it. So I think it might be important to know that at the next new moon, there will be the first solar eclipse. Is it a solar eclipse? Let me double check here. All right, I'm looking at my notes, which I try not to do, but boy, they're almost incomprehensible. Yeah, Libra full in 2 weeks, and then we have a solar eclipse for the next new moon. So there's that eclipse. There's something that's going to happen that's going to shock us out of our violence, and we're going to remember how to do undefended love as a result of this tower. This looks like a big global world event where we rise to our best selves. I think of Starman, or is it Robert Heinlein, Stranger in a Strange Land, or is it both? My mom and I disagree about this all the time, but I'm going to say we're both right. And my mom is certainly right that it was in Starman where he says humans, the alien says of humans, they're the best when things are at their worst. And that's what I think this tower does, is it shocks us out of this polarized situation that we have been in for quite a while, actually. It's an artificial polarization. And it shocks us out of that. It shocks us into our heart, and it causes us to remember what we knew when we were children, which we knew how to love in an undefended way without judgment. In this way, really. This beautiful way. I mean, these cards are gorgeous. Like, there's nothing here on the table that troubles me. It's a beautiful reading. It's very hopeful. Okay. Now, we have some stories. These are the barriers. They have to do with our notion of what makes us happy and of who we are. It's so interesting that our collective readings have quite frequently told us that the sun, our concept of happiness, is on the table. It needs revision. So, from my bias, like, that is like your Amazon happiness, your wealthy happiness, you're taking from earth happiness that you must extract and have and take from others. It's a lack of justice. It's hierarchical. It's overly invested in things, and it's at the expense of the planet. It's at the expense of other humans. It is at the expense of your soul as a result. So if you think having makes you happy, that might be a barrier. But this could come in many ways. Let me just say the tarot is way less judgmental than I am. So let's see what the tarot says. I'm sure I'm right. I have a little bit of that. If I buy it, I'll be happy feeling. Okay, there's some momentum. This is the violence, the Chariot. Beautiful horse. Remember, we're seeing a different horse here. This one is running as fast as she can. It's funny because on the bottom of this deck, the Chariot is upside down. So it's like not here yet. Or how would you read it? To me, I'm seeing this is a part of the story that is our barrier. That we're naturally like this, and that this is how you get stuff done. It's actually very Martian Aries like energy. It's like this impulsiveness. It's cardinal energy. Aries being cardinal. It's the card of Cancer. It's a start energy, but it's rough. It's an animal energy. It's followed by strength, where you calm that violence. You calm it with love. So what else? You just have to work hard for nothing. 7 of Pentacles. Yeah. You think you're going to get something if you work your butt off like that. We work too hard, right? We don't. And then Temperance. Okay, so this is alchemizing. This is waiting. This is feeling. This is transmuting this. This is the force of change. It's taking a long time. It's taking a lot longer than I want it to, but it brings in all of that beautiful rainbow. But it's all okay. So this is the story. This is our barrier. Temperance, like I think of alchemy, like this idea that we can take lead and we can make it into gold. Like we use our brute chariot force. We work all the live long day and it never pays off, and we extract from the earth and we turn it into gold. And who cares? Why do we want gold anyway, right? So this is an old ideology. It's an old relationship with nature. It's an old concept of self. This is what is the barrier. Okay, so to make a dream real, to make our dream real, this is the feeling that we have now that Saturn has moved into Pisces. Pisces is dreamy. Saturn says, all right, how are we going to do this? What's the plan? You know, we got to make some steps here. So that's Saturn energy in Pisces. Trying to get this reading done before I have a guest, and I think I will. I have lots of time. So let's see. Seven of Swords. There's some kind of secret truth that needs to be... Okay. Ooh. All right. So we get yucky, anxiety. These are thoughts that make us feel yuck, make us lose sleep, anxiety. All right. So maybe our thoughts are the problem. Let's keep looking. A new truth coming in fast. This is kind of like that tower feel. This is the 10th sword. We're at 9. Okay. When we get the 10th sword, that thing is stabbed 10 times. That's the last card in the tarot. Sword cycle is over. It's the last card in the sword suit. So the Son of Swords, that's coming in fast, this truth. And it puts an end to this misery. And then a new day, emotional beginning with friends, reconciliation. There's a lot of like really beautiful heart future of like being with our fellows, of reconciliation, right? That was what we saw with strength coming in to end this polarized feeling, to like we move into our hearts. We remember undefended love is what we're made for. This is a new story for sure. And it leaves us like having a nice glass of wine with our friends. Or if you're sober like me, a nice glass of bubbly water with maybe a little cranberry and lime in there. Like a beautiful, yummy mocktail at the end of the day with your friends. What it takes, though, to make this dream real is that a 10th truth has to be known. It's the truth that this panther has right there. That's what we need. It's hidden from us right now. It's hidden. The tower's going to happen. It's going to bring us to our best selves. We're going to look at our concept of happiness and of who we are, the sun. And then a new truth needs to come in. And when that truth comes in and the old way of thinking is over, the old paradigms are dead, then we get to have a mocktail with our fellow birds and watch the sunset. Oh, that seems really important, right? Because we have this barrier and then we see the sunset. It's like the setting of this old way of looking. Wow. All right, what's going on the bottom here? No doubt. One card, Judgment. This is us ascending. This is us moving to the next level, to the next story, to the next age. This is beautiful. Wow. I am ready for this new moon in Aquarius. Okay. Let me know. I hope this helps. My battery's about to die. I'll see you later.